can I slim down all of my gear and still have a flawless execution of my corporate shoots? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So the problem comes from, I have a lot of gear that I use for my typical shoots that I prefer to use, but it extends the load-in process, the amount of time that it takes to set up. So now I'm thinking, can I go to lighter weight fixtures? Can I switch out a ton of items and have a set of gear that I can use for vehicle travel and airline travel with minimum switching out? So first I'm going to show you what my current setup is, and then I'm going to show you all the new things that I bought. First, let's get started with the support accessories. Actually, for context first, I am a one-man band corporate shooter most of the time. So I typically don't have a PA, and I want to speed up that process as much as possible. So that brings me to, these are the bags that I normally bring. I really do like this Tenbo one because it's thin, but very durable. And it houses my 4 stands. So these are my favorite ones. These are from Kupo, and they are the clickable versions. So that has a release right here, this little button, and they also click together right here. So you can stack 4 like this, you can stack 4 into a cube, but most importantly, they can go into a bag and not take up so much room because they collapse down so well. So these have baby pins on them, and they're just very strong. Happy to use them outside. I trust them a lot. They're lightweight, but still sturdy. You may notice that there are no C-stands here. I do not like C-stands, especially as one person. This is just a typical stand from Impact, very, very light aluminum. And I like that I can orient this spigot wherever I want it to go. And this is probably one of the stands that has been the biggest benefit over the years, and that is an Impact boom stand that actually folds into itself. Let me show you. This has been a huge benefit because it can, I can boom a lightweight light, I can boom a mic, and it just, it does the job so well. So you go like this, it literally folds into itself like that, and then you just change the orientation. And it's nice over a traditional boom pole because when you have the normal kind of like, whatever I call it, the fish pole style holders, that Y bracket here, you can't change this. Whereas here, I can boom something in at an angle or here. Just gives me a lot more variety than that traditional boom pole. And it's showing its age. Like I've used this for a long time. I think it's $100. I really, really do recommend it because of how versatile and fast it is. But I'm giving it up. I'll explain why later. So all of these stands are great. They all have their purpose. But when I load them up into here, it's a pretty heavy bag. And what I'm wondering is, can I get away with this with lighter weight stuff? However, although I'm switching these things out, I do recommend every one of these pieces. But this is maybe like 25 pounds. Okay, now that brings me to the smaller bag. This is what I use for the aluminum stands. I think this is an old tripod case, but you know, the ones from Neewer, Impact, very lightweight stuff that I would use to hold like a reflector or maybe a phone or an iPad. I do like this bag because I can put, one, the handles are nice. Two, I have a bunch of just small grip accessories in here. Not the best organization, but we have these for articulation. We have mic clamp. We have some 5-in-1 reflector holders, phone holder, some more articulation. This is what I use for the boom, to boom a mic over. And this works fine, but I'm just working on optimization. So after that, we got the tripod. So this is from eImage. It's the GH06 head, which is one of the best heads that I've used for this price range. I think it's $1,000 for head and legs. I love the amount of counterbalance here, and this is a side-loading plate, so it just clips in, and then you tighten it, and mono locks for each leg. The thing I don't like about this monolock is the lock lowers as you raise the tripod, whereas on the Flotex, the lock is omnipresent at the top. But for $1,000, I really, really do enjoy this one. It's very fluid and can hold a decent payload. That brings me to my softbox of choice. Now, I really, really like this lantern. I chose the lantern over the, what do they call it? The aperture. They have a Mark II and a Mark III, whatever the normal softbox is for aperture. I can't think of it right now. But I don't like the Mark I or II because you have to load every spoke in. And this one, this is the speed for setting it up. It is like that, and then you just clip it onto the Bowens mount. So I don't want to mess with the spokes and all that stuff. This is the best that I've seen. The problem is it's hard to fit into luggage. It's just a little too big for the consumer luggage that I have, and even a little too big for the filmmaking luggage that I just purchased, which I will show you in 1 second. Other than that, this is my favorite softbox. This is my favorite diffuser for corporate work. I'm not trying to pump in, 1200s through muslin, or I'm not covering that much ground in my corporate work. So because of that, I can resort to these lanterns and then the really nice skirt that it comes with, and I can choose how much I want to show. I can boom this over top and have a China ball effect. I can use it as a normal key light for an interview. It has a ton of uses, and it's also very cheap. So it's just like 3 inches too big for fitting it into luggage. When you pack it up into the included bag, it fits nice, but this Bowens mount stays like this and takes up a lot of space, and that is fixed with the product that I replaced it with. Now that brings me to lighting. Currently I have 4 fixtures. I'm going to go into what their use cases are and which ones are getting thrown out or just not used. Very non-traditional case, but this is my 60X. I had a 60D for a long time, but I really just wanted the bicolor function, and I can keep it in this little Walmart milk crate with the reflector on. I really, really do like this light. It is great for if I'm doing like MOS at a convention and I just want to have a very lightweight stand and put on a softbox, and we're saying, oh, we're stopping right here to do an interview. Great, let me just carry this light, boom, put it down, turn it on, interview. Okay, let's keep moving, very lightweight stand and light. So I do like this for that, which is why it's staying. And then it brings us to the Sitio crate, which is a really, really nice product. It is, I was going to get a normal milk crate, and then I saw how many advantages this one had. One, the see-through lid, easy to open, and it has these ridges for levels for the dividers. I can move these in as far as I want. So I keep my 300C with all cabling on this side, and then the 200X with all cabling on this side, and a reflector that I normally don't use, but it's nice to have it if I need it for either one of these, and then one stinger in the middle. I'm going to do another video about having everything on aperture, everything on Sidus Link, and how that has improved my workflow. I can't tell you how many seconds, and then that leads to minutes, that I'm saving by being able to sit in the interviewee chair if I don't have a PA, if I don't have a stand-in, and adjust all the lighting intensity, and then switch over to the Sony monitor and control app and look at the actual camera feed. I'm going to do a video on that because it's the cheat code for one-man band things. And that's why I'm getting rid of this guy. So this is the Gene Array Bright Beast. I still use it from time to time because it is such a great, it's basically like an Astra knockoff for about 400 bucks. And it takes V-mount, which is really nice in the field, but also that 60X takes V-mount. So that is like, all right, solves that problem. It's just heavy, it's bulky. I really only use it, oddly enough, for commercial work when we have exteriors. I like to be able to cut light with the barn doors, and it's heavy. I mean, like maybe 10, 12 pounds. So it's not something that I want to bring to a bunch of corporate days. Okay, now let's get into camera. So over the years, I've definitely tried to figure out the best V-mount solution. I had a Tilta Plate with Hypercore Neos that were powering this small HD 502 Bright, and I had a great extension solution to bring it out in front of my eyes. I really, really liked it. And then I had the issues where I had to get a mainboard replacement. I don't know if it was from batteries, media, or the plate. So I instantly purchased all new items, which was expensive. It was this Anton Bauer plate, which has worked really well. Honestly, I really like the Tilta one better because it had more ports on it. This one's very limited. It doesn't even have USB on it, much less USB-C. So, recently I saw some FS5s that were used just with the OEM EVF and the body, no external power supply, and I really liked it. And so I'm thinking, let's try it. Let's get rid of all this weight, all of this weight, and all of the space that takes up. So I have not invested in a new battery type yet. I'm not sure if I want to cross that bridge right now, but I am getting 2.5 hours on the stock BPU 35 battery. These are wildly overpriced. Like this 35 watt hour is I think like 200 bucks, and then this 98 watt hour is 250. So I'm not sure if I want to invest in all that right now, but I am testing it out. And so far, if I'm using autofocus, this is fine. This helps maybe by like 5% to cut out some reflections, but this screen is so reflective. I don't know, it's a limitation. And I really wish that for the FX line, they implement a pro version of this LCD. I would love to see something that was 5 inches that still had all of the touch functionality for menu, for autofocus. I like this single cable for video and power. It's great. I just want it bigger, brighter, sharper, and I want this cable longer to push it out more in front. Other than that, maybe throw a V-mount on here, but that's getting besides myself. What I'm working with right now is this, and this is taking up so much less room in my bag. So this is my typical load-in package, and it's gonna switch from this to this. So the biggest addition is the Pelican 1615, and I put a bunch of stuff in there. All right, let me show you what's different. So this does fit in my BRZ, so we're all good there. And there's actually a lot of room in here still. So I didn't show this, but I bring this a lot of times. Tripod can fit in here, no problem. You got to take the head off, but you get to keep the rubber feet on here. Also, the Sackler Flowtech 75 will fit in here as well. So that's good to know. Might be a future purchase. So we take the head out. And also, if I had the Active 8 head, then I could connect it really easy rather than the 1,000 threads I have to do to put this one on. So we got a tripod there. VCT didn't show that, but that always comes with me. And that's another thing is a lot of the smaller items like the VCT, the reflector, they're floating around, and I don't like that. Now they can float around and bang around in here. So that lantern, YouTube commenter recommended this, and I'm so glad he did. I forgot what your name is, but this is the Softbox, and look how thin it is. It's the same size as the lantern too. So it has a really nice thin case. The bones mount lies flat like the newer Aperture one does, but I just love how simple this is. So it's got this nice little tie that's incorporated, a Velcro strap, and it's just extremely fast. And it comes with double diffusion, so there's another layer inside. There's another layer, and it comes with an egg crate. So this just Velcros right in, and I am going back to having all of the versatility that I had with the lantern. So I can cut light, I can shape it, and I can put things away very fast. So this small rig LA 90 is the exact thing that I was looking for. Very, very happy that someone recommended this. So that is taken care of in the nice case. Very thin, very lightweight. I'm a fan of that. It also provides some cushion for the stuff in here. And now we're gonna get to the stands. All those big Kupo stands, all those are now gonna be tested as lightweight stands. And this is the funny thing, because this is the first airy product that I've ever had. It's just an aluminum stand. So it's the Airy AS01. They have a couple different models. I think the AS2 is just a little bit outside of spec for the size of this. So I got this one. To me, it's wildly overpriced. It's 150 bucks. I found it on eBay for 50 bucks. It performs like a $50 stand. It does not perform like $150 ones. I did read in the reviews that the older versions of these were all metal, whereas this has some plastic moldings around the metal screws, and that the metal ones were better. And I just found some online. I think I might pick them up. But this is just, yeah, it's funny. It's an Airy product. I was talking to another DP, and he said that when they would buy lights, when people would buy lights, Airy lights, these would come with them, and they would just toss them out because they had better stands. I'll take it. And then we move on to these stands, which you may recognize from Cranky Cameraman's channel. These are Lowell Omni stands. So I've seen him use them in all of his vlogs for some purpose. And he said that they have been remade by a new manufacturer, and those ones have black collars. To avoid those, get the older ones that are only going to be used with the yellow collars, and these ones have stronger construction and last longer. So I found a couple of those online. And the beautiful part is how small their footprint is when collapsed. Now, these are not the strongest stands. These are going to be used by me in an air-conditioned corporate office, and that is their use case. But I do like the studs on top. I've tested it before in a couple of the recent vlogs. I was using these with the 300C with the Softbox. Worked fine. And that leaves me for the audio and lights that I was booming overhead. Let's start with our stand. The airy one is actually stronger, so let's do that if we're going to be booming things over. So we got our stand here, and then I picked up this. So first it is an impact grip head. KCP 200B 2.5 inch grip head. It's all metal construction. I really like. And this is like the secret sauce. So, you know the grip head that, or the boom pole holder that looks like the fishing pole thing that everybody uses. I never understood why that was so prevalent, because it's a Y holder and then it has a stem that goes down into here. So basically you're putting all the weight of the boom pole on that Y stem. So that thing can snap off very easily. Whereas this one makes a lot more sense to me. So it bites on two parts right here. And that is the support base for the boom pole holder. That type of rigidity seems much more durable than having everything balance on one stem, one fulcrum. This is much more solid. Lower profile too. So we take that and we throw it onto the stand. And then we orient this the right way. Let me see here, okay. And it brings me to boom poles. So for mics, I would normally keep my XLR cable right in here. It's 15 foot. It's good enough. They're distant enough for when I'm sitting behind the camera and I just have a boom over the interviewee. But I decided to go towards this boom pole that has the XLR cable built into it and then an out point right here. So this has the kind of slip and then tightening function. Pretty far, by the way. Like I'm not a sound guy, so I would never need to be live booming something, following characters, but pretty far. And what this allows me to do is have a much more managed cable run, and then I can just go like this here and connect my mic. So that works great. It has to be horizontal like this, a 90-degree angle. I can't dip down or else this will fall in. But twisting is great. It has these little rubber tracks inside to keep it from unintentionally twisting. But if the mic's angled like this, I can just grab it, angle it down. Very easy manipulation from over here. I don't have to adjust the mic over here. So this works great, especially with, it doesn't need a sandbag, but I would definitely prefer to have one at all times. And the recent recommendation was to get the donut sandbags. I think I might grab a couple of those. So that is for audio booming. And then if I was gonna boom a light, I would typically do the aperture 60, which I still have here. I'm gonna figure out a way how to put that in here. But the new setup is this. The ProMaster Air Support AS425. So this actually came with this is actually a monopod. And it came with the tripod feet. And I saw this at someone else's set, and I just thought how cool it was. You have these two little buttons, and when you do that, this is where the air support comes in. You just grab, and now you got your boom. I mean, so fast. You saw me struggling with the tension knobs on that one. And very short, so it fits in there. So this is gonna be for when I have to have a hair light over the subject. Let me just bring it in a little bit. And so what's the hair light? It is the Aperture MT Pro. So it comes in this nice little case. I won't use this tripod, USB-C charger, which is really nice, built-in battery, and it comes with the light, which is RGB, and also a collapsible egg crate, which is nice too, if I want to focus the spill. So I went back and forth of how do I mount this, what are my options, what's secure, and I thought it would be too, I don't know, not structurally strong to just go straight in from this 1/4-20 into here. It's a lot of weight on here. So I have some, they have another tap here, which I could do like a 90-degree, but I've been trying this and it's been working great. So this is what I have been using now as the hair light, and it's been working great, having everything on side of Slink. So hair light, done. What am I giving up by not having the 60D as the hair light? One, that's intensity, and that's hard light, and a lot more throw with this reflector. But what I'm gaining is a smaller footprint. Typically, I'm not shooting a hair light from across the room anyways. So this is going to be very close, and it's really limited to interiors. Outside, you wouldn't even notice if this was turned on. I have my second grip headset, right, for 2 boom solutions, and then the MT Pro will be in here. I got the Trek Pack organizer, so all of the bits and bobs that were in the side pocket of that soft bag are now going to be here instead of, you know, floating around and getting lost. I am going to get a boom pole holder case that is just going to protect the cabling and the pins and all this. So that is going to take up just a little bit more room, and I think I can get both of my boom poles inside that one case. Tripod. For vehicle travel, the only light in here will be the MT Pro. But once I go for airline, I think my setup is going to be limited to the MT Pro and the 300C, maybe the 60. I don't know. Or I could even use the 200X. It's even smaller, and as long as I'm not fighting windows, it can do okay. And I think that is it. So that is all the new gear. Is it the strongest? No, but it's gonna solve my current needs of a one-man band corporate interview shooter. I'm looking forward to the weight savings, the space savings, the faster load in and load out process. I'm gonna be a little hesitant about loading the stands up with weight because they're not the strongest. And if there's any time where I'm going to be called for exterior work, I would definitely use my stronger stands. I'm still going to keep them here. But this should be a nice consolidation. And if you guys have any recommendations on things I can do, I say I'm not going to buy gear, but I end up buying gear. I think this is a good point to move on from. So I'll let you know in the next few vlogs how it works. But you can see in some of the last ones, I've been slowly implementing these items in there. Okay, done. See you in the next one. Let me show you the coolest thing about living in my new place. My own little slice of prehistoric Florida with the crystal clear water. Big change from the downtown apartment with all the noise. I'm really, really a fan of this.